Hello, storyteller. Storytelling Ron. So this channel is about For the Lord RPG, which is about putting our faith into the role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons or whatever. And I have a game. You know, my games are role-playing games where you actually evangelize, plant churches, and do all the fun adventuring stuff. But I'm getting a lot of flack from Christians who say they don't want to do that. They just want to play a role-playing game. They think that I'm taking their idol away from them, and I'm being very, I'm being very antagonistic here, with contentious here with other Christians. This is my style, I guess. To my detriment, I think. But look, we just want Olympics. We just want athletes and fun and watching a sporting event. The left, the pagans, cannot relent. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. They cannot stop doing what they're doing. You all know why. God has put it in our hearts to be who we are. So, this is what they're going to do. They're going to keep doing this. So let's just take a quick look at this. I'm not going to play this, but this is obviously well, let me just at least go to, I'm pretty surprised that this video is still available because it's getting deleted everywhere. The Paris Olympics now, I hear, this morning waking up, I hear they're all deleting it. So Fat Jesus, woman, black, they got to have the blacks. And there's a child amongst the sexualized individuals here. Who's protecting this child? There's got to, the church in France is very weak. The church in Germany after World War II has actually kind of been decimated. Once it's kind of continually been decimated. Catholic, Protestant, whatever. It's like I think they're like 10-20% church now in Germany. In France, it's very similar now. It's like 30%, 40% maybe. So this is paganism. And I am reading about the missionaries in 6th century, 7th century. This is exactly what they came up against. I read about one missionary who went to China in the 15th, 16th century, and he was shocked at how many drag queens there were. During the early church, one of the Roman Caesars was upset, or a general. He went to one of the pagan Greek towns, and he was upset that all the priests were of the failing temples. They were not conquered by the Christians. The Christians were just, everyone was going to the Christian churches. You know why? Because they were about family and charity. And so the people said, you know what? We don't want to pass our daughters around and our sons around to the gay culture, sexualized gay culture. We want them to be wholesome. They want them to be wives and husbands and become adults before they're sexualized in a marriage. This is the culture of paganism. And the general was upset because the temple priests were all drag queens and hanging out at the bars getting drunk. And the temples were in disarray. And he was forcing them to do charity because they were looking bad. And the Christians were taking over because they were, Christian. You got to understand this about paganism. Paganism in the culture, when the explorers went onto the islands, when Columbus went to encounter the Indians in Mexico and the South America and all that, they were passing around their children, especially the girls, their daughters, as sexual concubines to all the men. Each one had a wife, but they still shared the daughters. That's the norm. There was cannibals everywhere. That's the norm. Gladiator arenas where they kill for entertainment purposes, human beings, in gory deaths is the norm for pagans. I live in California, and that's the norm here, right? Violent, gory culture of entertainment. The drag queens, the sexualizing of children. Now they're trying to. The Democrats are watering down every law that about. The latest one was that they can't. The laws where if you're soliciting for minors, it's a minor offense. It's like a misdemeanor or like a 2-year maximum. Prison sentence, maybe. So this is the culture of paganism, okay? And that everyone is upset that they're doing this is not what we should be upset about. This is not what we should be upset about because they're going to keep doing this. This is what pagans do, especially to Christ. And what's actually more upset is that it's just a constant barrage of this type of look. This is going to be common. You're going to have to go into stores and deal with this person as the manager. You're gonna have to go to judges, and this is what they'll look like. You're gonna have to go to DMVs, principals. This is what they're gonna look like, because we are not a Christian culture anymore. This is what you're voting for as a Democrat. Democrats are fully defending all this. And that's where the pagans have flooded to. So there's the child being sexualized. And I know right now there's like, ooh, we care, we love you, it's wonderful. But they're very close. They're already pushing pedophilia as MAPS. Minor attracted persons is a sexual identity now. It's a gay gene. There's going to be a pedophile gene, or whatever they're going to call it now, minor attracted persons gene, so that it's scientific now. They're going to say that, although, you know what I mean, just to and they're going to use their science idol to push it. And we as the church are not going to do anything. I'm giving you a solution, and I think you kind of can tell from what I'm saying that I'm giving you a solution. Okay, so let me do a little quick commercial break. I'm Storytelling Ron. This is my website. I can barely see it here. But anyway, Storytelling Ron. This is my website. Please go there. You can get... hold on. Let me fix this. All right, good enough. So this is my website. I constantly change it. But what am I doing? I'm doing a role-playing game, and I write books, right? And then my ministry, which has evolved recently, is in saying we have to put our faith into our games, and obviously there's Christian fantasy. There's plenty of that out there. So, but I am doing a role-playing game where you actually play as a missionary. The kids can play as a missionary. It's a tough role-playing game. It's got a lot of... It's simple rules, but then it can get dense pretty quick. But anyway, and I've been doing this for 45 years as a GM, game master, and dungeon master. So these are my things, and I'm doing a backer kit pretty soon. So you can subscribe to my little newsletter, which I do once a month, maybe. And then under my kid bookshop here is my Alfred Boyking series, which I highly recommend. It's very epic, even for adults. I recommend this series for adults. It's secretly written for adults. It's about a kid, but he deals with adults throughout the whole story. It's sort of like a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court, where a modern day kid goes into a fantasy world and deals with their adult problems and issues. And the cover is kind of kiddie-ish, but I really like the style. It's kind of anime, but the stories are very, like, to me, kind of a cross between Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. I've never read Harry Potter, actually, but in this, I've seen the movies. But in a sense of like having a kid connection with the big epic story and big epic battles, huge stuff. Here's me at some conventions selling the book, and this is sort of a light, smaller, very Dungeons and Dragons-y. No Christian. This one has Christian building up of Christian stuff, and then these are not Christian at all, but family traditional wholesome. There might be a tie-in to these two though, so there might be a change. I mean, something secret there that I'm not going to say. Okay, Night of the Dead is my adult, especially you men, you dads, and hardcore, very adult, very gory, epic thing. Anyway, okay, let me go back to the thing. So the gays have been doing the Last Supper forever, and Jesus have been mocking and scoffing and blasphemy against Jesus Christ forever. This is I just found this is the one I was looking for was down here. But anyway, this is a Folsom Street Fair. They got this. They got sex toys on the table. They got a black Jesus, of course. They got a drag queen and a bunch of leather, and the animal thing there. So this is the culture you're voting for, okay? As a Democrat, and this is the culture. This is the here in Hollywood. I tried to join a couple of little groups, and they would not vote for a Republican. You know why they wouldn't vote for a Republican? Because the Republicans don't believe in women's health care. They saw all the homeless issues. They saw the horrible crime rates, but they did not want to vote Republican. So they preferred the crime that was happening and the homelessness and disgustingness. And in this Hollywood, in this haven of left-wing Greenpeace, environmentalists, pagans, Democrats, this haven, they rule here with an iron fist. Disgusting. The city, the Hollywood is disgusting. There's feces everywhere. I walk my dog twice a day. There's trash. There's so much like in the gutters that those dirty rags looking things sitting around. You don't know what they are. They're just dirty rags. They look like just disgusting whatever everywhere. There's trash everywhere. There's weeds growing everywhere in the concrete, on the sidewalks. It's disgusting. And they're claiming now they're going to clean it up. Now, November's an election. So now they're going to clean up the homeless camps, Newsom and all that, which is like, yeah, that's just pathetic. So this here, a poster of Jesus and his disciples as half-naked homosexual sadomasochists sparked controversy recently at a Folsom Street fair in San Francisco under pressure from media blitz orchestrated by Christian conservatives. Miller Brewing Company asked to remove its logo. So Miller, and this has already been going on forever. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was among those defending the image. I was set to issue a major news release promoting this latest addition to the global boom in queer Christ art. Right-wing Christians don't own the copyright on Jesus. It's important to create new. They don't own the copyright on Allah or Muhammad either. So feel free. On Buddha, on Charles Darwin, we don't own the copyright on that. But it's Jesus they want to go after. It's not in no one else, just Jesus. And one thing you could say is, well, the reason they don't do Allah or Muhammad is because they'll get killed. So what they're saying is, killing and terrorism works. Killing and terrorism works. So what they're saying is, we will submit to Islam. That's what they're saying. If they don't want to blaspheme Allah and Muhammad, they want to blaspheme Jesus. And remember, we as Christians know we don't go kill people because they blaspheme. We certainly know that. That's why we don't go around killing people. It says in the Bible not to do that. It says in the New Testament not to do that. But terrorism and killing does work on these people, on the gays, on the pagans. They do submit to it. So, in the end, people, if you vote for paganism, if you vote for these queer LGBTQ agenda, if you vote the Democrat agenda, you will become eventually Islamic, because Islam just kills people and terror, right? Terror, they kill and use terror, and the gay community will submit to it, right? Because they will blaspheme Christ, but they won't blaspheme Muhammad or Allah. So they will submit to Islam. So if you want to join the ranks in this, guess what's down the road? We Christians don't believe in blasphemy at all. Like, we don't believe in disrespecting anyone. We believe, though, in telling the truth and confronting the lies and confronting things that are wrong. But we just don't believe in blaspheming. Okay, so, which is the kind of culture we want to live in, where we don't blaspheme each other. It's important to create new images of God based on experiences of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people. New images of God. So, and he goes on about this. More spirituality, more gay, girl Christ or female Christ, and all these different Christs. So this is paganism. They want new images of God. So they want to create new idols and new images of God. So this person says, Jesus did this and that, and I'm a Christian, and I'm going to create more Jesuses. So here, during his lifetime, Jesus was often criticized for eating with prostitutes and other outcasts. Some of these sinners became his disciples. So but what she's forgetting here, or he or whoever, is that she, he, they, them, they, whatever, is that Jesus told him not to sin. I mean, when he started in his ministry, he said, "Don't sin, and do you not know that God made them male and female, and that the man shall leave his parents and join with his wife and become one flesh." That is the life that he wants for everyone. And if you don't become married, then be single. But you do not have a sexualized culture, which is what she wants, or he. I don't know who's this. Is it a she or he? I don't remember. No. Posted by Cherry, Kittridge Cherry. I don't even know. Okay. I see the need for queer spiritual images, good and bad, as we try to develop new images and set standards for them. So I do try to promote queer Christian images overall in my book. There are not enough spiritual images that speak to the LGBT. I want artists to create more of them. So this is paganism. They want more different things, more different ways of being different Jesuses. So that's paganism. Okay, so this image here is one done by Elizabeth Olsen Wallen. This was in the I don't know if I think it was the European Union. It was on display there, and that's when I first heard of it. And so people criticized that, but I think nothing came of it. This is like a Jesus in high heels. There's wine. There's obviously the traditional wine on the table, but it's all drag queens. Okay, look at this leather showing the butt. You gotta. I mean, you can imagine like, okay, I want you to turn, show your butt, turn. We want you in the front here, turn around. Oh yes, we must show that part. Oh yeah. I mean, this is all so. Turn your head a little up, turn it, turn. It's like to be there was probably incredibly boring. And this for them to all like hold. And look at that. We must see your anus or your butt, your derriere. We must see this. Had to have all that in there. The dog, whatever. I don't know if that's bestiality or what, but this is what they do. Okay. I haven't even read this. The meaning of an image is shaped by artist's intent in the context in which it is shown. Olsen Willing got angry when some Christians said AIDS was God's punishment. So she created her drag queen Last Supper for a gay pride art exhibit. Yeah, well, when some Christians said AIDS was God's punishment, well, they're going to get some sort of punishment, but the true punishment is when after they die, because they're going to die, and they're going to meet their maker, and this is what they're going to. I wonder if this is what he's going to show them. I don't know. But we're going to get this more and more of this because and I'm going to give, here's the solution. The solution to this, what is the solution? What is going on here? What's happening? The solution is go to church. Go to church, support your church, find a church. Are you a part of a church? Start, I might touch my face. Start doing church things like, or a ministry like this where I get my game and start a fellowship with men, work on evangelism, work on planning churches like in the game, but that's practice. It's practice. It's rehoning your skills in that sense. And it's not even that you have to do all that, but you have to find a way to help and support missionaries. And in your church, if this is your thing, get men there to become leaders of the community, politicians, local leaders. So the church needs to get stronger and start rebuking this sin and be proactive in the community. And I'm reading about the church fathers, our early church spreading it across Europe. They're the ones that were before us that's helped establish what the freedoms that we have today, the culture that we have today. They went to the leaders and converted them, and then got the church planted, and then got the people in, and then converted them, or at least it got them the Christian ethos in the culture. The norm, the default of a culture is paganism, sexualized paganism, drag queens, cannibals, gladiator arenas. That is the default. And we are obviously returning to that right now because the church is nowhere. The radical new thing after 4,000 years of paganism around the world is Christianity. And the radical thing about that was honor the mother and the father, husband and wife, children, marriage, man and woman. That's it. None of this sexualized culture of children, none of this sexualized culture of women and witches and love potions, which are just rape drugs. That is the norm for them. They created all these rape drugs. The witches, just to say it again and over in my videos, the witches of paganism, their biggest sell item was love potions. And what is a love potion? Is a rape drug. It is ecstasy or some form of ecstasy where you get the woman drugged out and then you can do what you want with her. That was the love potions. That is the norm for paganism. There were 30,000 witches in Paris around 14th century. That was just the men. For every man, there was 5 to 6 women that were witches. And the men were called sorcerers and the women were called witches. That was in Paris in 14th century. So when you're saying, oh, the witch hunts were BS, they were like factories of love potions being crafted. They're like, people were like, the church is like, this is getting out of this is ridiculous. This is happening all over again. And drugs are huge now, right? Drugs are on the streets now. They're issuing needles. The pagans have a drug culture. And look at what the Democrats are doing here in California. They're issuing needles. In all Democrat cities, they're issuing needles so that the homeless can take drugs and become these horrific zombie, raped out, drugged out, dirty, festering people in the streets. And these are all run by Democrats. And they're pagans. The Democrats are pagans. Doesn't matter how many times they say Jesus or God. They are their fruits. Their fruits are this, and I'm in the middle of it. I see it every day. I see the weirdos and crazies every day, and and the people being having to shrink back or whatever, shirk back from these confrontations, hoping that nothing will come of it, and trying to avoid them, because these people are crazed out, drugged out, and just walking around freely. They're given this. They're given their tents. I don't know where I got these tents from. I've seen on police posts. They haven't been posting it. I'm wondering if they told not to, but they used to post where they would find guns, drug stashes in these tents, in these homeless tents, right down by Chick-fil-A. Right, there was a whole huge tent area there, and all the stores are being shut down. All the Rite Aids are being shut down. All the they've had these new buildings up there. Takes them 10, 20 years to even get, and now they're all up. They're all empty. That no one wants to lease them. This is the pagan world, and thieves are fine with paganism, right? Thievery, you can steal here under 1,000, under 12. I don't know what the number is, but you can steal, and it's a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor means nothing, and there's not enough police now. And this is the culture of paganism. Paganisms hate the 10 Commandments. You can steal. You can covet. Covet is communism. You can covet, which means you want other people's stuff. That's communism. That's Marxism. You don't get it. You get it because someone else worked their butts off for it. But you get it because the government says, yeah, you get some of that. You get the welfare. You get the free stuff. You get the Obama healthcare, Obamacare. You get all of that. That's coveting. That's communism. The 10th Commandment is about communism. And the stealing one is just about you and I having the rights to our own property. We have the rights to thou shalt not be murdered, or thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt, what's the other one? Steal, murder, coveting. Is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4. And what's the last one? Bearing false witness. Those things, bearing false witness, stealing, coveting, and murder, are all about the individual, my rights as an individual to have freedoms of my own. You can't steal from me. You can't bear false witness against me, falsely accuse me of a crime so that I'm destroyed. That's what that means. I have a right to my family, to my property. That's the 10 Commandments. God says each individual has the right to their stuff. But in a pagan world, we're losing all of that. And that's what's happening. So join a church. Start talking more about local politics. Start talking about, bring up Democrats. And thankfully, in my church, at Pastor John MacArthur's Grace Community Church, we outwardly say now, thankfully, the pastors, you can't vote for a Democrat. We thankfully they have said that now. MacArthur has said it, and so have the others. They don't tell you who to vote for, but they say you cannot vote Democrat. And by saying you cannot vote Democrat, they're also implying a lot of great stuff there, which I wish they would imply it more openly, but that's just me. But they're saying vote. If you say you can't vote Democrat, ergo you need to vote. And this isn't our pastor, John MacArthur at Grace Community Church. So I hope that, I wish we were more political. I wish we had groups there that were working on local politicians, like as in teaching about it, local politics, and how to get involved. Or who's who, or the judges and the city councils, school councils, and all that, or we're going to elect one of our church members to go do that. I wish that our church would do that. I know there's that. It's something a bit concerning about that, but will we get too heavy-handed in politics? I get it, but politics, the word means people of the city. Politics means people of the city, and if we get too heavy-handed on it, well, it's already heavy-handed. The pagans are so heavy-handed into it. Government is their church. They love government. They love working there. They love controlling it, manipulating it. So we as church members, what are we doing? Anyway, politics means people of the city, and ecclesia, which is the term of church, which we have translated into church, actually means political action group, because the ecclesias of old Greeks were the groups that voted in their voting blocks. They went to vote as voting blocks, as ecclesias. And so when the disciples said, let's get ecclesias going, that's what it means. So I'm kind of a little annoyed that it's translated as church, because church means calling out of the holy or whatever, but ecclesia means let's get together and vote as this block for in a democratic situation. Anyway, get to a church, or if you're in a church, start asking around about a ministry, what you can do. Join something or start something like this. This is a ministry. You guys can, if you're an RPG person, you can create your own group. It's hard. You gotta find people to play with that are Christian as well. You gotta sort of learn the game, etc., etc. It's just part of my DNA. It's what I've been doing forever, so I kind of just know how to do it. But or if you're doing D&D and all that, I get it. Take the Dark Ages here, and take the evangelism part into it, and the church part of it, and put it in there. And I know, again, you're gonna. Here's your negative reaction to me and contentious reaction. You feel like you're going to lose your players that are not Christian. Well, you are. You are. Now you know who your real friends are. I mean, really. They're telling you to not use your faith in the game, yet they're going to use paganism in the game because it's pagan. Real world paganism too. It's a real world religion. Paganism is about creating any gods and idols you want, and that's exactly what's in the game. New gods, new idols. And that the pagans want you to fixate on, because why not? As long as it's not Jesus, it's fine. See? So yeah, there's the problem. I'm not the problem. The problem is your faith. Where is your faith? Anyway, getting dark. Okay, get in a church. That's the answer. We need a church culture. We need a church culture out here in the world, and we don't have it. And we don't have people of the church speaking out and affecting the culture and changing it from a paganism. Paganism is on the rise. It's the Renaissance. We got witches declaring that we have a renaissance of witches now. It's time to bring back the witch trials. What are the witch trials? Stop sacrificing babies. Are you sacrificing babies? Are you making love drugs? Rape drugs? Are you making rape drugs? Are you promising people power and life cheats and all that? I mean, we certainly are open to religions in one sense that you're free to do a religion, but they don't just do religion, right? They do manipulation, they do control, they do power. That's where we have to go after them. Because we do it as Christians legislatively. That's how we do it. We don't do it mob or attacking, like physically hurting them. It's a legislative thing. We believe in the government, the sword of justice, not in the mob sword or the terror. We don't believe in terror. We don't believe in genocide like some other groups. We do believe in war, but war is a declaration, and it is a legislative declaration of war, not a just go out and kill or mob or whatever, or terrorize. We don't believe in that. That's why they don't like war. That's why you always hear them saying you're warmongers. And you should say, yes, I am a warmonger. I believe in war, because war is an open declaration against something: slavery, terror, genocide. That's why they never criticize genocide. They never criticize terror. They don't criticize slavery, well, except for the black slavery from the whites, but never the world slaveries. But they never, you notice they never say that. Oh, you're a terror. We hate you, terrorists. They never say that. Like you're a terrormonger. Only warmonger. Well, they've stopped using that recently. I don't know, but anyway. All right. In the game of life, went on and on. Happy Sunday morning. Going to go to church soon. In the game of life, everyone. Woke Paris Olympics. Wake up. We need to wake up from the woke. In the game of life, roll holy dice.